Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadi alladhina istafa amma ba'd قال تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا قالت الملائكة يا مريم إن الله يبشرك بكلمة منه اسمه المسيح عيسى بن مريم وجيها في الدنيا والآخرة ومن المقربين صدق الله العظيم. Dear respected brothers, elders, sisters, and anybody that's listening, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we're going to talk about the last prophet from amongst the Bani Israel and the last prophet before our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His name was Isa ibn Maryam, Isa the son of Maryam. Isa alayhi salam has been mentioned in the Holy Quran 25 times by name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave great status to Prophet Isa alayhi salam, that today in the world we see that people of the Christian faith also hold high regards of Isa alayhi salam, Jesus. But today we're going to teach you the correct belief regarding Isa alayhi salam as a Muslim, and how as a Muslim it is very important we follow the message and the instructions of Prophet Isa alayhi salam and every single prophet before him. Yesterday we talked about and we mentioned the name Imran, and we have the Surah Ali Imran, the family of Imran. This is one of the most distinguished families which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored. Imran was the father of Mary, Maryam alayhi salam. Imran, he was the Imam of Baytul Maqdis. His wife was called Hannah, and they had no child for a long time. And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did bless him with a child, his mom, she dedicated the child to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to Baytul Maqdis. So when Maryam alayhi salam was born, Maryam alayhi salam's father Imran had passed away. So she never saw her father. Maryam alayhi salam was given in the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She dedicated her time and worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Zakaria alayhi salam as the guardian, the protector of Maryam alayhi salam. He would look after her, he would educate her, he would take care of her, and he would provide her with meals and food and fruits. One day, when Maryam alayhi salam was praying in her chamber in Baytul Maqdis in Masjid-Al-Aqsa, when Zakaria alayhi salam approached her, and he would be the only one that would enter the room, to his surprise, he found fruits that were out of season. We mentioned this in the yesterday's talk. And he was shocked. And he asked Maryam alayhi salam, where did you get this? And she replied, this is from Allah. Allah gives who He likes, when He likes, whenever He likes. So that was the time when Zakaria alayhi salam remembered to turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask for a child, even though his wife was barren and even though he had reached old age. But Allah can do what He likes, whenever He likes, however He likes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to the dua of Zakaria alayhi salam and blessed him with a child called Yahya alayhi salam. So Maryam alayhi salam, she was a very pure woman, she was a chaste woman, she was a very noble woman, she was a leader of the women. The Prophet ﷺ said the best of women is Maryam binte Imran, Maryam the daughter of Imran. And the best of women today of my time is Khadija binte Khuwaylid. So Maryam alayhi salam, she enjoyed great distinction, great merits because of her purity, her chastity, her dedication and service towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One day when Maryam alayhi salam was in her chamber, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an angel in the form of a beautiful young person. And when he approached Maryam alayhi salam, Maryam alayhi salam got scared. And the angel said, "You don't need to worry. I have been instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the glad tidings that you will have a child." And she is shocked because she's not married. No man has ever touched her. And she said, "But no man has ever touched me. How can this be possible?" كَذَلِكَ اللَّهُ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ إِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. Allah can do what He likes, however He likes, whenever He likes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is easy for Him. Whenever He decides on a matter, He just says, "Kun, be, fayakun," and it becomes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does each and every single thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give a child to marry without the being of a father. Even though the natural process of a child is that a child has a father and a mother. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching all of us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do anything against nature. Because Allah has got the power and the qudrat. And this is the yaqeen that we need to have inside us. And we have learned throughout our series that whenever Allah wanted to show His power and might, Allah can do anything and nobody can stop it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He informed Maryam alayhi salam to an angel that the glad tidings of a child. And who this child will be? This child, O Mary, indeed Allah gives you glad tidings of a word from Him, whose name will be the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary. He is going to be distinguished in this world and the hereafter, and then amongst those brought near to Allah. So what a glad tiding the angel gave to Mary. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen him that he'll be the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He'll be the Messiah. His name will be Isa, Jesus. And he'll be the son of Mary. Isa ibn Maryam. Isa, the son of Mary. And this is very important as we go along. Isa alayhi salam is the son of Mary and not the son of God. What the Christian believe today that Isa, Jesus is the son of God. No, na'awza billah. Isa alayhi salam was a servant and a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was the son of Mary. That is our belief. Any other belief will lead us to shirk and lead us out of the fold of Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention that He's the distinguished one, both in the dunya and in the hereafter, and the one that's close one to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Muslims, we have high regard of Isa alayhi salam. He's the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was born without a father, a miraculous birth, and he was the chosen one from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, sometimes in this day and age, people get surprised and people are ignorant and are not aware what Muslim belief is regarding Isa alayhi salam. So it's very important that we know, because then we can educate others. And when we educate others, it all makes sense. Because people today are confused in the Trinity. First they claim Jesus is God, then He's the Son of God, and then He's the Holy Spirit. And the three in one and one in three don't make sense to them. With the teachings of Islam, is very simple. Isa alayhi salam was a chosen prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was the son of Mary. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses him by two names, Isa and Masih, the anointed one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him two titles, Ruhullah, the Spirit of Allah, and Kalimatullah, the word of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses Isa alayhi salam as Isa ibn Maryam, Isa the son of Mary. And I've made mention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned Isa alayhi salam by name 25 times. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been mentioned in the Holy Quran by name 4 times. So people get surprised by all this. And the Quran has dedicated a whole chapter to Isa alayhi salam mother Mary. Surah Maryam is one of the most beautiful surahs of the Quran. So, not only that, the 3rd chapter of the Quran, Surah Ali Imran, the family of Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also dedicated a chapter to Imran and his family. And Imran was the father of Mary. So look how close our beliefs, how close we are to Isa alayhi salam and our belief. And we should be proud of this as Muslims. And Prophet Isa alayhi salam was the last prophet of the Bani Israel and the last prophet before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So for a period of 570 years to 600 years, there was no prophet between Isa alayhi salam and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave great distinction to Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the miracles of Isa alayhi salam. Now Maryam alayhi salam, she's worried. Now I've fallen pregnant. I'm expecting a child. My community are going to talk ill of me. They're going to slander me. They're going to say bad things of me. Oh Mary, where have you got a child from? Your father was not like this. He was the imam. He was the leader. Your family is a very pious family. And you've done this act. Na'udhu billah. So Mary, she moved from Jerusalem and she went towards Bethlehem. There, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided for her and she gave birth to Isa alayhi salam, a very beautiful and handsome baby. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided dates and water for Mary, for Maryam alayhi salam, so that she can gain strength once more. Now Mary has got this child, Isa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Mary that don't speak, stay quiet. Allah was subhanahu wa ta'ala was going to give the power to baby Isa alayhi salam to speak and clear the name of his mother. So when she's coming back to her community with this child, the people ranting, abuse, taunts, insults started. Oh Mary, what have you done? You brought shame on our community. She just stayed quiet. And Isa alayhi salam, they're looking at this beautiful baby Isa alayhi salam. And Isa alayhi salam declares, Inni Abdullah atani al-kitab waja'alani nabiyya. Indeed, I am the servant of Allah. And He has given me the scripture, the book, and He has made me the prophet. Subhanallah, the people witnessed such a miracle that the baby Jesus has spoken. And what did he declare the first thing? Inni Abdullah. I am the slave and servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am not the son of God. I am not God. I am the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. This is our belief, and this is what Isa alayhi salam declared, so people know the correct beliefs regarding Isa alayhi salam, that I am the servant and slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I have been given a book, and I have been made a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the people realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Isa alayhi salam for great things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him a prophet. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him a prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala performed many great miracles on the hands of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. He would cure people that were ill. He would heal them. On one occasion, there was a person who was suffering from leprosy. Isa alayhi salam put his hand upon his shoulder. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured that man from his leprosy. Another man who was suffering from blindness, again Isa alayhi salam placed his hand upon his shoulder. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought back his sight. On another occasion, a person had passed away and the family was grieving. And Isa alayhi salam felt merciful towards the family. And he took pity on them. And by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he brought the person back alive. So many miracles were performed on the hands of Isa alayhi salam to bring people towards the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isa alayhi salam, on one occasion, he made a bird out of clay and then he breathed into it. And by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah gave life to this bird and it flew away. So people, they witnessed such great miracles from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the hands of Isa alayhi salam that they embraced Islam. But the Jewish community, they were, especially the scholars, they were worried about their kursi, their chair and their status. And Isa alayhi salam taught people what Musa alayhi salam taught people, that worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be kind to others. But the Jewish scholars, they enjoyed high status in the society. They had no regard for the poor and the weak. They enjoyed their status and they would tamper with the books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They would change the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to suit them. This would hurt Isa alayhi salam. That how can the people that claim to be followers of Musa alayhi salam tamper with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and change the laws what Musa alayhi salam taught the people. So these scholars, they feared that Isa alayhi salam, his status is rising amongst the people and the people are listening to him and people are obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they're accepting him as prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Jewish community, they started plotting. They conspired with King Herod and they wanted to kill and crucify Isa alayhi salam. وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. So they planned and Allah Ta'ala planned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. So the king and the Jews, they conspired to kill Isa alayhi salam. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا إِيسَى إِنِّي مُتَوَفِّيكَ وَرَافِعُكَ إِلَيَّ وَمُطَهِّرُكَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he raised Isa alayhi salam up into the heavens. O Isa, I am to take you in full and to raise you towards myself. What happened was, when the gods came to take Isa alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised Isa alayhi salam up into the heavens and they took one of their own. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed his complexion to the complexion of Isa alayhi salam. And they crucified one of their own, thinking that it was Isa alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised Isa alayhi salam into the heavens. That's why in another ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they have never killed him nor crucified him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. That neither did they kill him nor did they crucify him, but they were deluded by resemblance. And then Allah Ta'ala further on says, and it is certain that they did not kill him, but Allah Ta'ala had raised him. And there is none from the people of the book but shall certainly believe in him before he dies. As our Muslim belief, this is our firm belief that Isa alayhi salam was not crucified on the cross. The Christian believe and the Jews believe that they crucified Isa alayhi salam, But as Muslims, we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised Isa alayhi salam up into the heavens and he was not crucified. They crucified one of their own people, or some narration says one of the disciples of Isa alayhi salam, but it was not Isa alayhi salam. And that's the firm belief of a Muslim, that Isa alayhi salam was not crucified on the cross, but he was raised up into the heavens. Now, as a Muslim, we know before Qiyamah, Isa alayhi salam will come back to this world. Isa alayhi salam will put an end to the corruption. Isa alayhi salam will finish off the Dajjal, the Antichrist. And Isa alayhi salam will live amongst the people. Isa alayhi salam will destroy all the crosses, the crucifixions. And he will destroy all this. And all the people of the book, the Jews, Christians, everybody at that time, they will become followers of Isa alayhi salam, and they would realize that Isa alayhi salam was not crucified. Isa alayhi salam was raised up into the heaven, and now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought Isa alayhi salam back to save the last generation from the fitna of the Dajjal. So this is our faith regarding Isa alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored Isa alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Isa alayhi salam. And this is our firm belief as a Muslim, that Isa alayhi salam was not crucified, nor was he killed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach everybody regarding this false belief. And before Qiyamah, everybody will bring faith upon Isa alayhi salam. They will follow the instructions of Isa alayhi salam based on the Sharia of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He will be living amongst the people. He will be teaching the people. And when he will pass away, he will be laid to rest next to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now here some people say, so does that mean Isa alayhi salam is the last and final prophet? No. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last and final prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Isa alayhi salam, his prophethood will always remain with him, but he is not coming as the last and final prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is coming to save mankind from all the dangers of the time, and he will follow the Sharia of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His prophethood will always remain with him, but he will not be set as the last and final prophet. That seal of prophethood is with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So people, they get surprised and they marvel at the fact that how Isa alayhi salam can be born without a father. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention, Inna mathala Isa inda Allahi ka mathali Adam khalaqahu min turabin thumma qala lahu kun fayakun. Surely the case of Isa alayhi salam in the sight of Allah is like the case of Adam. He created him from dust, then he said to him, be, and he came to be. So people, they get surprised that Isa alayhi salam was born without a father. But there was a prophet of Allah who had no father and no mother. And that's Prophet Adam alayhi salam. He was created from earth. This shows Allah can do anything. Kun fayakun. Be, and it becomes. That's the power of the word kun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I make mention of this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he goes to work on something, or when he wants to make something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need no workers, no angels, no construction team, nobody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just gives the order, kun, be, fayakun, and it becomes however Allah wants. That's the power and qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why, alhamdulillah, as Muslims, we have great belief regarding Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isa alayhi salam was a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isa alayhi salam was given great distinction in this dunya and in the next world. Isa alayhi salam had a pious mother, Maryam alayhi salam, who was a chaste and pure woman, a virgin, and The father of Mary was also a very pious man, and the whole family, Ali Imran, the family of Imran, has been granted great merit by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about their distinction. So we hold the family of Isa alayhi salam in high regards. We believe in Isa alayhi salam, his prophethood, his message, and he gave the glad tidings that the prophet after me, his name will be Ahmad Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Isa alayhi salam, like I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised him up into the heavens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not let him get killed. Allah ta'ala saved him, and Isa alayhi salam will come back to this world, and Isa alayhi salam will save the last generation from fitna of this ummah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has held Isa alayhi salam in high regards, and as Muslims so do we. And if we know about this, we can teach others. Like I said to you, with our deen, it's very black and white and very simple. Whereas the people that believe in the 3 in 1 and 1 in 3, and they get confused, and it doesn't even make sense. Ours make very clear sense that Isa alayhi salam was the Prophet of Allah, just like Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, just like Prophet Musa alayhi salam, and all the prophets before that. And like that, there are many similarities between Isa alayhi salam and our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam saved the first generation of this ummah from all kind of evil. 1400 years ago, when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam came into this world, remember, like I said, there was a gap of about 570 to 600 years between Isa alayhi salam and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and people had fallen into shirk and all kind of bad habits. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was sent to guide mankind. So he was there to guide mankind. And Isa alayhi salam, he will save the last generation of the same ummah, the ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from all the evil of Dajjal. Like that, both Isa alayhi salam and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they were deprived of fatherly love and care. Isa alayhi salam never had a father. This was a miraculous birth, a sign of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alayhi father Abdullah passed away before Nabi sallallahu was born. So they were both deprived of fatherly love. Both prophets were given books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Injil, the Bible, to Prophet Isa alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Quran to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And they were both supported in their missions by Ruhul Qudus, Jibreel alayhi salam. And they were both prophets of mercy and kindness. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And finally, both prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like we know, Nabi sallallahu is laid to rest in Medina. Isa alayhi salam, when he will return back into this world, and when he finally does pass away, he will be laid to rest in Medina next to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, as a Muslim, we have high regards for Isa alayhi salam. We should know our beliefs regarding Isa alayhi salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the tawfiq and the ability to do amal. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen.